And I'm Ozzie.
And we're relocating from Maryland to Cary, North Carolina. And we accepted 2 new jobs that required us to get down here quick, fast, and in a hurry. And so we were looking about who we could trust and who we could reach out to. And we felt very confident that Arkell and Charieese would help us. And we were so glad that we did. In a matter of 60 days, we were able to close on our property and get into a property that we absolutely love.
What she said. Yes. So when using Arkell Barnes for this service, we were extremely impressed. My wife and I kind of joked, we were at our daughter's ballet recital and she had to perform twice. And so we couldn't, because of COVID, we couldn't go into both of them. So we dropped her off to go into the first one. And in between ballet recitals, we called Arkell to start talking about the process. And he said, well, do you have a few minutes? And we did. And then we went right through the loan application immediately. You know, I was all prepared to go home and log onto the computer and, you know, do it all online. Arkell took all of our information right away and was able to give us, get us through the process very, very quickly, which is exactly what we needed.
We, of course, picked a very difficult time to move into North Carolina with the real estate market being so hot and active. And Charieese was an angel for us in this process. She was able to get us the showings that we need so that we could turn around and make decisions on properties before they were under contract other places. She was also every time able to not talk us down, but help us to be very practical and real about the decision that we were about to make. Just because you're looking at a property and everyone is excited about it, you don't want to make a financial commitment that you're uncomfortable with. So she was able to help us come in with good, strong offers that would still put us in a good, sound financial place. She was also able to pull comps for us to help us know what we should be offering, maybe areas that we could look in that may require less of a financial commitment, and never hesitated to help us get strong offers presented. And within 3 weeks in this market, we were able to get a contract accepted for us. So that's almost unheard of right now. People are waiting, 4 to 6 months to get into properties that they may not love. And then inside of 3 weeks, we were able to see over 30 properties and get a contract accepted in a financial position that we are very comfortable with. We called really not knowing what we were looking for, and she was able to help us focus our search to nail down exactly the area, the location, and there was never a time that she couldn't be reached. She was always accessible to us and was able to get showings for us that was convenient to our schedule, and was always able to help us with our next step.
What stood out to me with working with Arkell and with Charieese is the swiftness in which we were able to arrive at this decision and ultimately finish out our process. We needed a team that was ready to respond to our every need at a moment's notice, and we needed to build that team and have trust in that team and have sort of an immediate trust that was built upon. And so we knew immediately that we could rely on Arkell and Charieese to address any need or any question that we had.
We could not have asked for better people to work with than Arkell and Charieese. I mean, there was nothing that was too much to ask for. There was never a time that we never felt like we couldn't reach out if we had a question. Everything was clear. They left no stone unturned for our property and working with us. We never felt like we were a bother or an inconvenience. We felt honestly like we were their only clients. And we know that not to be true because they're so sought after, but that's the impression that we walked away with, that we were number one on their mind. And I think when you're trying to get a loan or looking for a house, that's how you want to feel, that your realtor and your lender are thinking only about you. Arkell was able to bring to us lots of loan options and some options that we didn't even consider with our property. And Charieese made us feel that she must have been going around North Carolina with a magnifying glass trying to find us the perfect perfect home. And that experience is what we wish for everybody. And we know that if you work with Arkell and Charieese, you're going to feel that same way.
Yeah, and I think with Arkell and Charieese, I think we're both convinced that the word no is not in their vocabulary. They are always willing to work with you and always willing to present a myriad of options that are available to you to make you feel as comfortable as possible in this kind of strenuous process.
And if we do end up needing another property or wanting another property, there's absolutely no question in who we would turn to.
So when Arkell provided the documentation checklist initially, for me and what I do in my job, I have a bit of an audit background, and so I enjoy a checklist because it gives me the exact information that I'm going to need to provide step by step, and it gives me something to reference back and forth if I have questions. And in some cases I did have questions, and I would email Arkell, he would email me right back and answer those questions, and I was able to move right through them. And the checklist wasn't just one sentence or a few words about what document was required. It lists the actual document, and then it gives you a little bit about how that document should be provided, what information is going to be necessary in that document. And so it gave me as the consumer a great feel for, number one, the amount of information that is going to be required for a transaction like this, but also gave us something that we can literally go through and check. Yes, we have provided this. Yes, we have provided that, to ensure that we are being the responsible consumers that we should be and providing all of the information that is necessary to avoid any hiccups that are going to come down the line. Yeah. So in working with Arkell and the team and Patty, I really enjoyed just the thoroughness and the ability to just work through the process with attention to detail, with efficiency and with effectiveness. Whenever there was a document that needed to be provided, Patty was also always very clear with what needed to be provided, and they were always very communicative and kind of giving us a good understanding of where we were in the process, what was still required, and if there were any shifts, they were very flexible in explaining what additional documentation would be necessary in order for us to complete the process. They were a joy to work with, and it was just very comforting to know that the people we were working with on the other side of the transaction were just as invested in it as we were.
I also think that it was very clear where we were in every step of the way. In other properties that we have purchased, once we finished the application, we felt like we didn't really hear that much until they needed something. I think working with Arkell and his team, we knew what was going on every step of the way, from the very first phone call that we had with him until closing day. We knew where our application was, what was required of us, what was going on. Again, that education piece of this is where you are in this process. You didn't feel alone. And when you're buying a property, it can be overwhelming. And so to work with a team that really makes you feel like they are team you and what you are and your goals was just a tremendous blessing.
We look back on it and we say, what a bold ask that we had of you all. 3 weeks ago, a month ago, whenever, hey, I need a loan and I need a house and I need you to do it quickly, and we need to do it so that we can get them down here with enough time to sort of transition into school and all. It's amazing,
Yeah.
And
Charieese, I'm coming down on Saturday. Can you get
Right.
these 12 houses?
Exactly,
And I'm going to text you at midnight because I found another one because I can't sleep.
And then Arkell emailed us at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, we
or
were like,
something.
"Amen,
One of them,
amen.
like, what are
Can
you
you go
doing
to
up?
sleep? Can you go to
I mean,
sleep?"
thank you for sending that,
But can you go to sleep?
no, right, exactly. But
No,
no,
it
we have
has
said
been.
this whole process has been divine. Like it's nothing but God, and we are so glad
Grateful.
that you all are in our lives, and know that we would literally not be in this position right now
Without the two of you.
It just wouldn't have happened.